Welcome to a late IHP show with your 5D Mystic stories with me, Maria. And if you're new, 5D Mystic, the difference is we are these spiritual agents because, Christ consciousness. Oneness consciousness and a spiritual self-agent is a securely attached, non-traumatized person. We talked all about self-mastery today and also about emotional invincibility, the elite. The securely attached, non-traumatized person, whether mystic or not, knows all about those who don't want to move here. That's why the truth with science and love, which is also why we don't pat anyone on the back. So I hold all people accountable, not only the parents, but every single human being out there to do what? Well, one, to know about Gabor Mate and his amazing quote on what addiction is, and also another follow-up question. So any behavior that gives you temporary relief, temporary pleasure, but in the long term causes harm, has some negative consequences, and you can't give it up despite those negative consequences. He says the real question is not why the addiction, but why the pain. And that's the part of where people who are addicted to drama, we have plenty of people who say not to say that they're drama kings or queens, that's rude, but I'm going to say there's a bunch of people who treat me like a piece of shit because they're drama kings and queens. I mean, one even went ahead to say that I fake smile, just saying. So it's not tit for tat, but it's more of what Ron Siegel presents, which is when we're talking about acceptance, it's very important to talk about the difference between accepting experience as it's arising in our own body and endorsing a certain kind of behavior. So this is the part of why I love that we're in Dharma and not Karma for the 5D collective. The 4D and 3D, they're going to stay in Karma, which is why we get to say something like this. No, we just say it's not about decency. So when people don't go heal their inner child and they actually are cowards, they're not assholes to me. They're the very basic coward that doesn't actively know how to be emotionally invincible and likes to say that we, the securely attached, non-traumatized person, it's not like you're the elite of emotional invincibility. Yes, actually we are. Now I come with Jesus, God, Holy Spirit. So I'm going to say I'm lucky because I'm a spiritual self-agent, like I said. And that's why I'm different. I bring spirit and science. I'm the pseudoscience woo-woo lady. I'm a mystic mentor, content creator, podcast host. Right now, with our late IHP show, the Mystic Stories, we're honoring the full moon while I get bitten by mosquitoes, by the way. So you're going to see me move around because it's summer, finally. In some places, it's gotten warmer, which I really love. And as my body is very great with homeostasis because I'm an integrated brain and a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person, I know all about the future, and I know the people who don't. And then I know hypocrites. And 3D, 4D are those, to me, because they could tap into their infinite higher human consciousness potential experience, but they've decided not to become their overflow of humanity. So divinity doesn't descend because it's not that you are the divinity in and of itself. It's that you and consciousness and change and self, one and in the same. Thanks, Dr. Daniel Siegel, for explaining what the integrated brain is and how it's a conduit. And so with that, the truth can imprint itself upon a brain that is in the present because I don't make assumptions. And then I also pick up on your nervous system. But because I know of all the somatic empaths and all of the somatic therapists, I don't do anything when I meet the quote-unquote assholes. Because I learned from the best of the best of the best of the best of the best how to do nothing. This is where truth with science and love. So what happens when people have any type of addiction to low self-esteem, indirect communication, passive-aggressive? They hang out with the ego's family. And they don't want to hang out with 5D because, ventral vagal people are really boring because we're emotionless, apparently. No, we don't spiral in a dungeon of anything when we get mixed messages or whatever it is, because we will allow ourselves, an empowered feminine, to share with you, whether it be firmly or, again, with all the agitation in the world, I got to learn from the best how not to do any of this. So as we got messages today, like I said, self-mastery. We're the deer with the lion and the tiger. There's no bear, but I can be my own bear. Okay, so securely attached, non-traumatized mystics are the ones that get to come here because they will enjoy the 5D frequency. And so they know all about science and spirituality, marrying each other and sharing what spirituality had already shared with me. Brothers and sisters, they live in hell in their bodies. No, science tells me that. Spirituality told me that all my brothers and sisters have one of two choices: kindness and love, open-hearted or not. And that when they don't have kindness or love, I said, hey, God, no Lucifer, just cowards. And that's where I grew up to let you all know, when you meet a coward, it's the same again and again and again. So they will be drama kings and queens, and they won't heal. They're not officially actively assholes, but they will choose to commit to transformational, cultural, and continuing to perpetuate trauma. So while they do karma in their bodies and then actually are not, let's make the world a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are children dying. If you care enough for the living, make it a better place for you and for me. I'm a perfectionist who's imperfect, but I care about integrity and character. Now, while some would say it's strong character, I'm just going to say I got integrity and the elite of emotional invincibility. It's a muscle. Yeah, so I'm not really sure why people listen to the Zen Master's Laundry. I'm just going to let you know that your brain's a muscle. Is this a good challenge? I'm going to say I love this challenge. I actually love myself a challenge. So God keeps reminding me how I can continue to be challenged, and Buddha too, because I make fun of the people who suffer. So really, do I have to judge them? A waste of my fucking time? Nah, I think I'm finally figuring it out. Walk like an Egyptian. So as you master, I'm an Akashic record reader, your mental, emotional, physical mastery, you're going to know. So I remember when I learned I was mastering my emotional mastery. And then I remembered when I felt I was in my physical mastery. And you get to do that every ascension energy if you're living Dharma. So Dharma means you're choosing integration. You're saying, yes, I get to look at Maria's, or whatever your name is, your own emotions and your own thoughts. And so it is all mindset. And then this part about knowing that the first year of your life is important. So unhealthy self-soothing mechanisms are not a choice. And that's why science and love, the truth. So when I meet spiritual bypassers and savior complex people, they don't know how to do homeostasis. They don't know how to do ventral vagal state, and they don't know how to notice their implicit, explicit, and their own biases and charges and own opinions, and then allow themselves to put them up here. Remember to be empowered, and then to present equations with neutrality and duality so that we can all benefit from the information. And so here's where we all have different ideas of how we want to talk about those who are securely attached, non-traumatized, and those who are choosing not to move into securely attached, non-traumatized, and the ones who are also choosing to disregard that addiction to drama is not healthy, and addiction to stress or anxiety is not healthy. But again, the ones who say it's dangerous to have no emotions, they like to tell you they're going to dismantle modern-day therapists and that it's unhealthy to have no emotions because they believe you can't inherently be healthy with non-reactivity. They don't know what they're talking about because their body, like the man who said, it's not like secure attachment people are the elite, emotional, invincible people. I mean, their foundation was solid, but if you start to give them mixed messages, they're going to spiral down in hell. No, he didn't say the hell part, but my point is that we don't spiral. We will ask questions, and that's why I think all of my years of life to tell you that by the time I was mid-30s, I'm thinking I was pretty well-versed without attachment trauma education, but telling people don't fuck if you're miserable. What the fuck is this again? And eventually I was able to understand what shame, blame, fault, revenge, and people who are addicted to their pathologies become. And so when I watch 3D, 4D come towards me, I don't do anything. excuse me, confusing science, spirituality. No, I bring them together, actually, human spirituality, to tell you about human evolution, consciousness, and being yourself. No, because I'm a mystic too. You know what my men friends say? I say things wrong. Let me try again. Blah, 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 blah. No. Buddha, quantum physics. So, and this is show and tell, by the way. So now I got the 3-year-old. It's show and tell. I'm allowing myself to have a good time because I actually am curious now of what this human being, who's a 16-year-old version of themselves, it's an adaptive child part. And I say, since we're probably headed the same way, let me hear what you got to say. You know what? We were headed the same way. So the truth is that science shares with you that all of our brothers and sisters can own love in their hearts. They might not want it because they don't want to own their brains, because they don't want to be integrated, because they don't want to get rid of maladaptive patterns of behaviors that involve addictions to that which is an unhealthy self-soothing mechanism and styles and all that great stuff. No, not great, but we got a void on screen who says, we're all fucked up. I'm going to stay this way. I don't want to do the rest. Okay, so the empowered ones of us, though, we don't look to the past and think that it will repeat itself. We don't look to 10, 20, 50, 100 people because they fucked you over and think everybody's going to do it. That's an exaggeration. We do notice, though, those data points. So I noticed that the ones who don't want to heal lack self-awareness, accountability, and regulation. So they don't take what their behavior brings and say, I'm sorry, I will, and here, and so it's very easy when people don't love. They don't care what they bring to the table. They actively don't care that you may be sad, mad, afraid, surprised, disgusted, happy in the 24 hours that you have. They have not one moment. Some people, it's not about the one moment. It's the point of I have not one moment for some people. And that's where those secure attachment figures, remember, it's chosen. And that's the part of what I didn't realize as people got older, that they actually could use therapists so that they can enjoy life versus drag a pain point and suffer and be a doomsdayer doer and a are we good and a pleaser and people say, I'm a healer, how dare you trauma dump? So when I see suffering on a screen, it makes me think of when Ursula copies Ariel and doesn't successfully do anything because you're a copycat who doesn't know how to use your nervous system, because the part is that you want to unlearn the first 3 years of implicit memory stuff. You can't delete it, which is why it's not only the psychoeducation, it's actually going with the 2 hands, 2 feet and doing it. And once you have enough of the foundation and do the rest, that's not actually helpful. So the rest is the mindfulness, mindset, and mindset practices, and you saying yes to sensations, images, behaviors, affects, and meanings. And with our full moon, everybody gets to meet something of theirs. I got to meet a bunch of random stuff, but I'm used to doing Dharma, so it gets fun and more fun by the minute. And as I do notice, the 144,000 keep coming back, and the earth keeps splitting into 2. And at the same time, I'm like, no, it's different than all the other stuff, because I'm growing more aware and aware of what's fun is that with your Dharma, you get to continue to see that which is enlightening happening. And so we're going to have functional child adults at IHP, because that's what the 5D is, emotionally invincible. I mean, really, again, it's a play with words, but it's fun to be able to do that workout, because securely attached, non-traumatized people, they enjoy life, and it's because we only have 24 hours. So I'm going to make sure it's the best of the best of the best of the best, and homeostasis is really fun. It was not hard to get here. You can thank my oversoul, because nobody does anything alone. And then you thank this, though, because this did it. I mean, I might be lucky for illeals, just saying, and also I'm a self-agent, and that's different than my twin. My twin has her story, but we're also different in where we come from. Yeah, actually, that one's a funny one. So I did an LBLT, and so did she. And we have completely different ways of how we came in. So I'm not going to share that one, but it was really fun for me to find out. And what an empowered feminine can say is we always know we get the good end of the stick, because we're the ones who have a relationship with God. The masculines don't. They have to gain it if they want it. And that's because they have to gain a heart and a gut. And their mind has to lead them to that, to notice that it's coming up first and that this comes after. And that this wants to be full with their own ventral vagal state, and that this wants to be fixed from having whatever goes on in the unfortunate, dysregulated, modulated embodiment. So when people take care of themselves, then they're going to know how to take care of other people, because now they know how to be in homeostasis, which means they can adapt to any situation. And it also means that they can go from chaos to order without being rigid and or chaotic. which is what integration is all about, which is why self-mastery, we'll talk about it some more in our next episodes. Again, self-mastery, transformation, being vulnerable. What is most amazing for a functional child, adult is being vulnerable. And so for me, every step of the way, all of those different moments, cherishable. And then when they are not cherished with, that's a pity, but you know, some people, again, they're addicted to drama, low frequency, and to continuing to do that which was done unto them instead of actually heal it and thrive. So, poor child inside, yeah, but that's for another day. Science humbles us, and we do know, like Sadhguru says, let's make it happen. I do know that those who choose love will continue to choose it, because that's how easy it is to be invincible. You choose it through your mindset. You choose it through the day-to-day. It becomes easier because your body also enjoys health. So you will be able to walk a walk and talk a talk. And we all have sloppy moments. But sloppy is one thing. It's another thing if it's actually completely letting yourself go, which we all, again, can. But that's where Manny, Diego, and Sid don't let each other go, nor Pacha or Cusco. So a variety of a herd. Personality patterns are very much flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, and stable, and fun to have. Nobody loses their selves. Your temperament stays. Your nervous system you master, and that's why people who are afraid to lose themselves don't know who they are. Otherwise, they would know you can't lose yourself. I didn't lose you. You didn't fit in my pocket. So that's what happens when people say, you let him get away. Not my dog. It's a secure attachment figure if they want to stay and stick around, because their amygdala enjoys that which is a safe haven, secure base. If they're addicted to drama, it doesn't enjoy because it's afraid of it, because that's exactly what happened when they tried it at home, which is why avoidant, ambivalent, and disorganized don't feel at ease when secure attachment is around, unless they're choosing, I want earned secure attachment. I want the 0, 8 and all my child parts asleep. I want to be a lover. That's what's great about our era and dharma. No karma for the ones who choose love and science. Spirituality and science come together. The ones who just choose to think that spirit knows everything or science knows everything, they're missing out. But let's not tell the sciences, because I mean, I'm the woo-woo pseudoscience, but the spiritual, as a child of God, and yes, source, spirit, Akash, they're missing out, because it's once you overflow in your humanity that divinity descends. But you don't say, I'm divine, I'm the, no. There's the, and then there's pieces of consciousness and creatorship and whatnot, but there's only one intelligence. It's always going to win, and no, please stop talking about Lucifer, because, and people make fun of me now. And no, there's still people who talk about evil and Lucifer and demons. They dehumanize. Let's remember the 1-year-old didn't choose to have to freeze in that bed or whatever happened. And so I'm going to make sure you hear about the 0-1-year-old, because that's a part. Let's not diminish. But again, I won't be like, oh, it's rude to say drama king, drama queen, drama. No, because there are people who will bring it to us. And they don't take accountability. They don't take ownership. And they say, what? You don't like scary movies? What? You don't want to know? Don't you know life hits you fucking hard, Maria? How dare you be happy? How dare you be one emotion? Don't you know everyone suffers? Not really. No, not everyone suffers. Ills, lucky me and my genes. Look, Gary B, man, I love him, man. So it's not what you do, it's why you do it. Why do you do restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating lifestyle choices, and the mindset that is the inner growth mindset? I do it because it feels good. I feel good. Na 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 na. I knew that I would. Ba-na, 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 bum. I feel good. And that's what you know as an empowered feminine, which is why no masculine tests anyone. And you don't watch your fucking shoulders. I was reminded of ego a long time ago. Long time ago. I can still remember when we used to play. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, so I was reminded. I said, shit, Maria, you forgot about the fucking ego. Well, now I was reminded it's a good thing. Now I know, Yeah, and today I know about ego and self, and I know all about the child parts. So tending to ourselves is very important. Love yourself first, be yourself with integrity. Come on over at IHP for Empowered Human Voice, unconsciously loving each other. We all have flaws and imperfections, but we don't give each other pats on the back. And we also don't give each other casting of stones, because everybody is on their own journey. We just keep each other in a singing kumbaya with Manny Diego Cid, Pat Chacusco, and we keep our words because, well, death do part, sickness and health, better for worse. Doesn't anybody know what God sends us Jesus for? So that we can forgive, turn the other cheek. Blessed are those who believe without seeing. And that way we can flourish from inside to out. Restored embodiment, self-aware, accountable, regulating people. It's called invincible, emotionally, mentally, and physically. And no spiraling of any sorts, because you master this, and you master this, and you master this. And I really, really hope that we will make it happen, Sadhguru, as many people as possible. And in the meantime, love does accept defeat, though, because fear is still going to be a part of us. And the fancy lady, man in suit are the continuation of transgenerational culture and more trauma, and they're not the only ones alive. We got plenty more. And one thing good is that, as Robert Sapolsky points out, we know who wins. Yes, but we also know potentially it's been determined. So, tick-tock, tick-tock. What do you think? If we all thought everything was set in stone, do you think people would be motivated? I don't know, but I know I'm happy where I'm at, and the 5D collective, who is us, and that's exactly why we don't have to do anything. God always wins. Love always wins. Look, hurrah! Okay, personal development, self-help, remember, and please, unconsciously love each other, and healthy self-worth people don't actually mingle and tingle with all amenities enough to be saluted. It's like a little radar. We're like not interested, and then when they come around, no, we won't become friends. Yes, we do frequent the same place. No, we won't be talking. Yes, I will be seeing you. No, we will not be engaging, and that is all yes. No, I'm not putting barriers. I'm just letting you know how it works, and my body tells you the truth, and there you go. I don't lie. So have a wonderful full moon again, and we'll see you soon.